Greetings Nerdy List aficionados and welcome back to Top 10 Nerd. You all loved the oldest mutants, you had to know, so that means we're gonna tell you about some more old peeps. Today we'll be taking a look at the oldest Avengers. Again, oldest as in age, not as in publication date. I'm Sasha and these are the top 10 oldest Avengers. Let's get started. Number 10, Captain America. Starting off with one of the younger members on the list, Captain America. Captain America's age comes from the time that he spent frozen in ice. So he is physically still pretty young, but if you count all the frozen years, he's over 100 years old. And yes, that counts. Kinda like being born on a leap year, but not really. How old are you? Captain America is one of the earliest members of the Avengers, but not one of the founders. No, the group was already founded when he was located frozen in ice. So he was a new recruit, but he became such a presence that he's often associated with the founding, and as a leader of the team. So Cap enjoys a position of high standing, and you can always pull out some "he's old" jokes in case you need or want them, which the MCU did in abundance. Capsicle ahoy! Number 9, Wolverine. Yes, Wolverine has been a member of the Avengers, but at this point, I mean, who hasn't? Between honorary membership and various teams, they've accepted many people. Well, Wolverine was a full-fledged member. He was one of the new Avengers who joined in 2005, and from there on in would find some form of affiliation, say such as with the Savage Avengers. Wolverine, aka James Howlett, is quite long-lived. He made it onto the list of oldest mutants as well. Wolverine was allegedly born in 1832 or 1886, depending upon which comic you're reading, because Wolverine's history shifts to the point that it's actually a bit of a joke. Some other publications clock him at over 200. The point is, he's old. He's older than Cap. So we have his mutant abilities to thank for this. They allow him to age at a slower pace than most people, thanks to his healing factor. His cells regenerate at a much faster rate, keeping them younger and healthier than the natural slow march of time. Number 8, the Sentry. The Sentry is Robert Reynolds, and based on his backstory, he is older than the rest of the Avengers. He is positioned as a Superman-style hero for Marvel, appearing and launching a golden era in a way that happened for DC but not for Marvel, because Marvel wasn't Marvel until the 60s. Before that, they were Timely and Atlas. Hence, this Sentry was there before the rise of the Age of Heroes such as Cap and Namor, who were the Golden Age heroes of Marvel. And he was firmly established by the Renaissance, aka the time of the Fantastic Four, based upon this retroactive canon. The Sentry seemingly doesn't age because of the serum that was the catalyst for him receiving his powers, which also triggered a photosynthetic response that causes him to not only absorb solar energy, but moved his molecules a tenth of a second ahead in time, which causes him to be immensely powerful for reasons. The Sentry, once he was established in canon, earns a place as one of the oldest Avengers. He joined the team in the New Avengers in 2005. Number 7, Namor. Why yes, the Submariner Imperious Rex has been on the Avengers. He joined in the 1980s in issue 262. Good old Namor Mackenzie. Once you know that's his name, you can't stop saying it. Namor also made our oldest mutants list because for a time he was called the First Mutant, a title he has since lost as he is not really a mutant at all but instead a hybrid. Namor was born around 1916 as a way to account for him being a Golden Age hero but still around the Silver Age and Modern Age. He ages slowly. As mentioned, he was one of the Golden Age heroes for Marvel, and he made that transference over in the Renaissance when he was reintroduced in the Fantastic Four. But of course, the old continuity was still canon as well, so he is over 100 years old. And he's not on like the reputable Avengers team all the time, he gets to be on the Illuminati too, and cause the Skrull invasion. Number 6, Conan the Barbarian. Conan is a recent addition to the Savage Avengers in 2019, and has been there since the first issue. 10,000 BC, that is the era when Conan is supposed to be taking place during a fictional era, but the Avengers is a fictional team, so hey, it counts. Conan was transported forward in time by a spell to be on this team of Avengers, and some would say that doesn't count, but here on Top 10 Nerd, that makes him ancient. This isn't the only time Conan has been brought forward in the Marvel canon either. It usually happens in what-if stories. There's a story where he becomes a pimp, kinda. So you can have those fun culture shock moments. I mean, if him being a pimp is fun. Venom is also on this team of Avengers too. He's old. Well, the symbiote is. Number 5, Star Fox. Star Fox is a member of the Eternals, a race who is an offshoot of the evolutionary process that would create life on Earth. The Eternals are an extremely long-lived race who are viewed essentially as immortal. Star Fox is the brother of Thanos, and he was recruited to the Avengers in the 1980s. His first appearance as a member was in issue 243, but he was a member in training since issue 232. Eros, aka Star Fox, would be on the team without much fanfare until he was accused of sexual assault. Now we've talked about this many times on this channel, and some of you are like, why do you keep bringing it up? Well, it's cause unless you were really tracking Star Fox, like you're a big Star Fox fan, that is the most significant thing to happen to him in many people's minds. And for some, that arc, he's never really recovered from it. Number 4, Gilgamesh, the Forgotten One. Let's continue on down this path of Eternals. He got to be on the Avengers at a time when the roster was nearly empty. He joined in Avengers issue number 300 in 1989. It was at this point that he properly took on the name Gilgamesh and updated his costume. He then also took the mantle of Monster Hunter. He would assist them firstly until it appeared to his death in 391, and then he would officially leave when his essence was bound to Olympus. Some people afraid he was on the team, which works because of his name, the Forgotten One. Number 3, Sersi. Sersi joined the Avengers in issue 314 in 1990. Captain America had already met Sersi a couple of times, once through time travel and then because she would become friends with some of the Avengers, as Sersi grew quite attached to her time as a human during the time when the Eternals had lost their memory. He would ask her for her help and she would eagerly agree because she had a crush on Cap and was often seen flirting with him. It was after she had helped out the Avengers that she would be asked to join. This was again during their quest for members, as she was an ideal choice as she had already worked with them. She would prove to be a great asset to the team, but Cap would consistently find himself embarrassed by her flirting with him. However, over time she would become more and more aggressive. Sersi, like Gilgamesh and Star Fox, is an Eternal. So, long-lived. It's part of the pedigree. She is said to have been born during the Ice Age. Number 2, Thor, the God of Thunder, currently the Herald of Thunder at the time of this recording. He is of course one of the Asgardian gods. Thor has lived for millennia, long enough to become ensconced in myth. He is at least as old as man, probably older. The Asgardians live in another realm and age much slower than humans, not only as a result of their physiology, but as a result of the golden apples of Idun they eat to prolong their lives. He would end up joining the Avengers after he was cast to Earth by his father Odin. For a time he had a human form as well, that of Donald Blake. Despite this, he is one of the founding members of the Avengers as one of the key players in Marvel's Renaissance, at the start of the Silver Age. Number 1, Valkyrie. Valkyrie joined the team during what's called the Heroic Age of Recruits, and first appeared as an Avenger in Secret Avengers Volume 1 in 2010. It was revealed to be the original Brunhild, which it matters. Valkyrie is of course based off of the Valkyries of Norse mythology, and firmly planted within Thor's universe. Brunhild is seemingly older than Thor, as she was selected for Valhalla by Odin before the Thunder God makes his appearance. This makes her one of the oldest Avengers. She also has a pretty confusing history involving multiple identities, some time being taken over by the Enchantress, being split into multiple people, and the like. So those were 10 of the oldest Avengers. There have been so many Avengers across the years, and various teams. It's almost an insult to not be on a team at this point. Let me know your favorite Avenger down below, and thanks so much for watching Top 10 Nerd. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell notification so that you never miss a vid, and we'll see you again soon. Bye bye!